Hello, hello. Are we getting there? Backdrop's all wonky. Yeah, I've been out of the office for a while. It happens. Um, all the power went out here. We came home and it was like literally nothing left in the fridge. Is all gone. So it happens when you don't have a fire. You get your power shut off. Who knows what's going on there? Does anybody know? Can you guys hear me okay? All good? Crypto Angels in the house. Dude, party was awesome out there in Vegas. I'm exhausted, but two thumbs up to everybody who contributed and everybody who came and everybody on that freedom path, because that's where we got to be. The path of freedom. Bull Pony. Yeah, Bull Pony was there throwing out more predictions. He'll get one right. Don't worry. I think he's saying end of November now. It was end of October and September and blah, blah, blah. All right. A couple things. Crypto Roger says, yeah, that's why Bull Pony just said there'll be a crash on Monday or Tuesday of next week. Okay, Bo. Yeah, I don't have anything to say about Bo's predictions. I've been hearing them for over 10 years. Broken clock. Yeah. The broken. Hey, Clint, what up? Clint's in the house. The broken clock is right twice a day. Absolutely. Got no ill will towards him, though. I just, yeah. Let him do what he's going to do. Today's a big day for banking. Why? There's a lot of things. One, they needed $293 billion for the weekend. $293 billion just to survive the weekend. It is insane what's going on. Now, think about that. So, obviously, the banks are having troubles. Everybody should know that. Deutsche Bank is, stock's almost fallen to its all-time lows, and there's no hope for Deutsche Bank, but there's no hope for a lot of these banks. And it's the worst time ever for the banks to be in trouble. Stock markets are all-time high. Lowest interest rates ever. Huge bond bubble. Congress can't agree on a bailout, even if they tried. This is like the worst time in human history for banks to be struggling because there's no way out. There's no way to go. All the bubbles have been blown. They're not going to go negative interest rates. It would destroy 50 other sides of the economy. So, yeah, we are at that point where they're going to pump money until it goes to Congress. You might ask, well, it will never go to Congress, Bix. Well, it did in 2008. They needed $700 billion. Right now, they're at $300 billion. So at 700, we're going to be asking, hey, how come you had to go to Congress back in 2008, but you don't now? The other thing pushing this forward is this. It is a letter from presidential candidate Elizabeth Warren to Steve Mnuchin saying, what the hell? Explain it. And I want the answers by November 1st, which is today, Friday. I guarantee you Mnuchin isn't going to release anything until after the markets close, probably at midnight, because Elizabeth Warren didn't give an hour. Or he might just say, no, it's confidential, or we're working on it, or something to that effect, because I can see Trump saying, I'm not going to give anything we don't have to give. Let them sue us for it. But it's a real interesting time. The banks have never been weaker, and everything's about to pop. So hang on to your hats. My friends. All right, one other thing I wanted to talk about before we get into questions. Veritasium has settled. Woohoo! I got the official signed court judge document. Yeah, they absolutely went after Veritasium with all guns blaring. The settlement's in the $9.4 million range. Chump change really for Reggie, but still the largest. I think it's one of the largest they've gone after percentage-wise since the ICO only raised 14. They had it in for Reggie. Why? Because he's a replacement of their criminal crooked exchanges. That's why. So here's the 1, 2, 3, 4 things that the settlement did. And this is from the SEC to the judge who signed off on it, supposedly. And actually, Reggie chimed in on Twitter saying, hey, at least we're still in business and there's a clear runway to go forward, which is great. All right. The The judgment, number one, permanently enjoins defendants from committing additional violations of the federal securities laws the commission charged them with violating, including injunctions against engaging in the unregistered offer and sale of securities and committing fraud in connection with the offer, purchase, and sale of securities, including market manipulation. So basically, they can't release any more Veritasium tokens, and Veritasium or Reggie cannot deal in that world at all, which is great if you ask me. I mean, there you go. There's you're legally bound by, you can't create any more Veritasium tokens, Reggie. Not that he was gonna, but now he's legally bound. So that's a good thing. Number two, permanently bars defendants from engaging in any offering of digital securities. So they can't offer any more securities. That might be interesting. About other very offshoot tokens. Provides for the collection of over 9.4 million, comprised of disgorgement and prejudgment interest against defendants, and of a significant civil penalty against Middleton. They charged Reggie himself $1 million. They were literally out to get him. Number four, establishes a fund with the amounts collected from defendants in satisfaction of the judgment, so the victims of the defendant's fraud may be compensated. And the judge is signing off on it. So there you have it. What does that mean for Veritasium going forward? It clears the runway, number one. The looming, the SEC is going to shut it down. They're not going to anymore. Hopefully they won't front run and destroy deals as Reggie and Veritasium move forward. And in Reggie's Twitter or Telegram post, he didn't say much other than, things are still going. It just, at least we're still in business and the runway is cleared. He knows there's finally a clear ruling from the SEC on what to do. So, yeah, it's great. I think it's wonderful for Veritasium. And, when will it take off? I think when Reggie starts going back to the people that and doing the things that he was doing before that the SEC stopped him from doing. The Vadar, the Jamaican Stock Exchange, the gold and silver, Veritasium gold and silver. I think he can go back to doing all of that. I'm not so sure about Veritasium gold and silver, though. I'll have to wait for analysts on that. But definitely a lot of things that can go out, and he's in business, which is good. So we'll see how that goes. That was what I wanted to talk about, and I do want to hear what you guys are thinking as far as anything. So we're going to go to the chat room right now, and let's take a look. What do you guys talk about? An EMP, Wendell. An EMP is the best way to keep patriots from marching on Washington when they take out Trump. Yeah, an EMP, that's bad shit. I mean, you can't take out the globe with one of them. You'd need a lot of nuclear blasts up above. And there's other ways to make them. But an EMP basically fries all electronics. So your car won't work, your computer system won't work, your phone won't work. That's bad news. That's a slow, brutal death. So, yeah, I hope they don't use that on us. Robert D. Biggs, have you been listening to Dave on X22? What do you think of his view on the economy? I'm on with Dave Tuesday, I think. I interview with Dave every month. I don't know what he was saying other than what we spoke about, that things are going in the shitter faster sooner rather than later. But yeah, Dave's a great guy. He gets some great guests on and has his great insight into what's going on. I think we're on the same page pretty much. So I'll be talking to him Tuesday, and then he'll post it on his site. Bex, wiki search gold certificates. Enjoyed the read. Which certificates? Are these the 1934 gold-backed bonds? It's this, there's a million different historical gold bond certificate scams and the real deal and the certificates that came out of the Grand Canyon, believe it or not. That was the 1934 ones. Super chat, Jesse, thank you. I got Very on Ether Delta a while ago, but hard to get now. Where do you get them? I picked up mine on Mercatox. I used to a while back. I got plenty of Very. I bought some more when it went down to $5. I don't know what's going to happen to the price. Just hang on. It's a hodl coin. But this is a great sign that the future there's less roadblocks, a lot less. Like every other ICO has roadblocks until they figure out what they're going to do with the SEC. So yeah, hey, good luck there in Wurzburg, Germany. I didn't say it right. Wurzburg. I can't. My pronunciation of any other language is horrific, and I'm sorry about that. Crypto Nana in the house. What up, girl? Hung out with her quite a bit in Vegas. She's very fun. So is her daughter. We had a great time in Vegas. Everybody's exhausted though. Theta and the Samsung Node. Yeah, is there new information from Theta? I think Theta and Samsung are gonna hook up, shall we say? They're a huge investor in it, and Samsung's been saying over and over, we're gonna get on a blockchain. We just don't know which one. We don't do our own blockchain because you need the separation of church and state, shall we say, or you don't want like Amazon doing an Amazon coin because then there's all kinds of problems with interdealing and you control the coin. But like something like Samsung's and saying, I want a third party blockchain that's good, and Theta is good and fast. And I think it's perfect, especially with Theta fuel mining and things like that, which I do right over there. I think that'll be worth a lot. Theta fuel mining one day when the prices of Theta are recognized, which I think is coming. I think most of the cryptos that we've long held that have done the things they said they were going to do will get a bump up when the old system crashes. Probably after, mind you, when the banks crash, all the exchanges will crash, including the crypto exchanges. We won't even know how much gold, silver, and cryptos are in the chaos. So hang on for after the chaos. That's why you hodl. False flag in Seattle. I've been hearing that quite a bit. I think it has to do with some Simpson thing, and I don't know. We'll see it. I mean, now is the time, but for the next 2 weeks to 3 weeks, I would say is prime time for a false flag. So just keep your eyes and ears about you. Yeah. All right. Let's see what else we got. Yeah, if you guys know more about that Seattle false flag, let me know. I got friends up there. I got a Warren Cliff. He's not in Seattle, but he's outside of Seattle. Wing It Tracy. If the banks have the money to buy tons of gold, why would we give them a bailout? JP Morgan has tons of gold, 900 million ounces of silver. Repo madness. Absolutely. Yeah, why do we give them a bailout? To keep the system going, to kick the can, the same reason we've been doing it since 1913. But it is from the Fed documents, the plan is to end that practice very soon. So we will see. But yeah, JP Morgan announcing record earnings and everybody getting bonuses, but they wouldn't even be alive if the repo market wasn't bailing them out every night. What's wrong with that picture? And we got to go to Congress. It's going to be up to Congress to sign that letter that says, okay, the Fed is no longer valid. That's all you got to do. And it's done. So we'll see how that goes. They'll probably merge the Fed and the U.S. Treasury because pretty much everybody knows there's no separation of the banks and the Fed and the U.S. Treasury anymore. And there's no need for the Fed to be separate from the U.S. government other than criminal activity. They aren't a trusted third-party arbiter without political influence. That's a crock of shit. So we all know it, and even the Fed chair people have said it. So it's time to end the Fed and bring them into the U.S. Treasury, in my opinion. All right, Simon, thank you for the £2. Awesome. I know that currency, Mark, the pound. Yeah, Brexit coming up. I don't think they're going to do anything with Brexit until the banks collapse, and then all bets are off anyway. So probably a bunch of wasted time until the banks are no longer bailed out. I hear Germany's in trouble now, Deutsche obviously, but other things in Germany. The German economy is falling apart. The immigration problems are going completely off the charts. So hang in there if you're in the UK or in Europe. My son's in Europe, actually. I keep saying, hey, you got to come home. And he's of the position, hey, if I come home, it won't be any better there than it is here, probably, right? Simon, thank you, bud. Thank you. 10 pounds. That's 12 pounds. Like my mathematician. All right, Crypto Nana, what up? If you ever want to have a good time, go partying with Crypto Nana for MAGA. That's like Lisa's mom. She's party girl. And fun to talk to. Okay. Lupe, hi Bix. What exchange can I use other than Coinbase? They stopped me from buying and selling. My account was hacked. Since then, they're not letting me buy or sell. I like Gemini. It's real fast. Any exchange now, you're going to have to give them all your information. But they can get it anyway, truthfully. There's no hiding anything anymore, so you might as well give it to them. But yeah, I like Gemini. I hear Kraken's pretty good. Gemini is really good for if you need to sell cryptos. They'll do overnight transfers and buy, and it's a limited selection. So I think it's actually they added a few more, but you can definitely get Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash, other stuff like that. Hope that helps. According to this is from Ivar Plavinsky's. Dude, I'm sorry about butchering your name. But according to Dylan Radigan, there is a clause within Dodd-Frank that makes it so that the Fed does not need to go to Congress for permission to do a bailout. There are clauses within Dodd-Frank that say that there are also at any moment, at any time, the U.S. Congress has the power to end the Fed. So, yeah, they can do a bailout, but at the same time, when the people find out and talk about it like we are right now, and gets bigger and bigger, if they don't do what the people want, the people will just end the Fed with a sign of a letter. And that's all they need to do. It's on the $100 bill, the new $100 bill. It has the red ink pen or the gold ink pen, and the writing on the bill that says at any time you can overthrow your government. That's on the new U.S. $100 bill. So go check it out. Yeah. Hey, there's a lot of fraudulent Twitter accounts for Road to Ruta, a lot of fraudulent what's it called? Not many YouTube anymore, but there's some. Telegram. If you see anybody saying no, Bick says give me 50 Litecoin and he'll give you 500, you know it's a fraud, right? Right, everybody. There's a lot of people falling for a lot of scams again. Everything is a scam. You have to put in your mindset everything is a scam. It's got to be checked 10 times before you give anybody your password or your private address or anything. Just assume that this is a scam. Assume that everything is a scam because you are the one in charge with your charge of your cryptos. There's nobody else. The banksters are not going to help you. They've decided. You're on your own. You want to play in that crazy game, you're on your own. And that's the way we like it. So keep them out is my take. They're criminals. So Lance, thank you for the super chat. Sweet. Let's see what we got. Albert Janetsky, I thought no more bailouts, bail-ins. There won't be any bail-ins. The U.S. citizen is not of that mindset. We will not allow these big banks to walk off with trillions in profits and then agree to a bail-in. If anything, the bailout will be a flooding of the system of money. There's nothing they're trying to fix right now. Now's the end game. It's just they flood the system with money. And yeah, there'll be little bailouts until it gets to, my number is 20 trillion. I've been saying it for over 6 months. I think that's what they'll go to Congress for, and Congress will say no. We hit the 700 billion coming up mid-November, so that should be a marker. If what I believe happens will happen, it should be in November we hit 700 million. That was the what we bailed them out for back in September, October of 2008. So that'll be a big discussion point on the media and should be in Congress. this whole Elizabeth Warren thing is going to be a big discussion because that letter's due today from Steve Mnuchin. I don't think he's gonna produce it. So yeah, we can end the Fed with a bill in Congress, and that's all it takes. So, all right, let's see what we got here in the chat room. Emil Dauphine, thank you for the super chat. $5, sweet. Will gold-backed Chinese currency fix their banking problems like it will for the U.S.? It won't fix it for the U.S. and it won't fix it in China. Gold backing, in order to go to a gold backed system today, after the confidence is lost in these banksters, it would take a faith. And since it will be no faith, obviously these controllers screwed up our system, they'll be blamed. So there'll be no faith and confidence. The only way it would have worked, and this was in the Road to Rue documents, was a true gold redeemable standard, meaning you can walk into any bank you want and give them your cash, and they will give you equal equivalent in gold. And that was the plan on the Road to, in the Road to Rue comics, but is no longer the plan. The plan is to use cryptocurrencies as our form of money going forward. There will be some gold position within central banks, but truthfully, central banks, most of the gold is held by the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers and those guys. And central banks, they like it, but they have moved on to the currency of the future, cryptocurrencies. And you couldn't teach the 99% of the population that has no connection to gold at all. You couldn't teach them, you have to use gold. You can teach them, hey, Bitcoin did well and that your fiat money is crashing. So I don't think there'll be a gold. Gold will do well in dollar terms because the dollar is dying. Silver will do massively better than gold. So just if you're looking at an investment, it ain't gold. And if you believe in gold, you believe like 100 times more in silver because it's a monetary metal as well as an industrial metal, a necessary 100% needed necessary metal. Gold is I'm getting there to Warren Buffett's side. It's just something you stick in a vault when the fiat system crashes, which is coming. But historically, gold has been the only alternative. Now it isn't. So I don't think it'll be chosen by many people. That's my take, though. Silver, we need silver for flat screen TVs, high-tech future, sci-fi world, all that stuff. Okay. Kevin Bianci. Bix, who's on the other side of JP Morgan's silver short? If JP Morgan have the capacity to drive the price down with unlimited fiat every time. They can trade to themselves. A lot of it's the two big banks are Citibank and JP Morgan, according to the OCC. For silver, they can trade back and forth with each other. They really don't need, they can take any position long or short and drive it down for a bit and then buy them back up is what they've usually done. It's really bad, and it's complete computer manipulation. A lot of these things happen in like microseconds, trading back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So we need to shut down the comics. If you want true gold and silver prices, we need to shut down the criminal comics and the LBMA, which are both run by ICE, Intercontinental Exchange. All right. Bix, your thoughts on the load coin? I don't think it's needed. I mean, obviously silver might need it. Cryptos don't need it. If you add a required third-party storage to a cryptocurrency, it becomes less valuable. So gold and silver don't need cryptos, just like cryptos don't need gold and silver. If you link them together, you're just adding more risk and more third-party risk, especially. So I'm not a fan of that. I like those guys, and I wish them well. It's also a prime spot, almost the perfect spot for nationalization of silver. Every one of those vaults where they hold the metal, and that is coming. So, yeah, I'm not a fan, but I like the guys. How's that? All right, let's go see what we got. A whole slew of questions. Lance, thanks you for the $2. Clint Westwood, like and subscribe. I forgot. Hit the thumbs up and subscribe. YouTube keeps taking people away from me. It's so sad that they keep taking people away, but they do, and we're playing on in their sandbox, so we got to do what you got to do. Reggie's coming back. Yeah, I think he is. He's a little wounded. A ridiculous judgment, or he had to settle for the token to continue, for his grand idea of having decentralized exchanges, peer-to-peer transactions to move forward. He had to settle. And it's funny because that was in Dick Allgire's remote viewing stuff as well. That Reggie, they were hoping, everybody's been hoping that Reggie would settle, which he did. So, Simon, thank you for the £3 again. A lot of pounds coming out. Paulie P. Paulie P. $20. Thank you, Paulie P. Paulie P's a sweetheart. I got to hang out with him in Vegas. He's the only day, the Vegas 3-day cleanse. Modelo, tequila, and a whole lot of love. Absolutely. Absolutely. It was. Yeah, he did the cleanse from his car, the 21-day. I think he did the 9-day as well. Not from his car, from his truck. He's a truck driver. So he's making almond milk and blending his juices and all that in the back of his cab, which is very impressive. All right. As you can tell, I'm very scruffy right now. I let it go for a little longer. When the system resets, will we be switching from IOUs to UOMEs? There's no reset that is planned. A lot of people get that confused. That would assume that somebody has a plan and this is the way it's going to be. That is not what the Fed said at all. As a matter of fact, they basically said, here's what's going to happen, and here's 35 questions that we need to answer about all kinds of things, how to get everybody to agree to a new amount of money to be allocated, or what that money is, and it's not going to be easy. So we will see what happens, but yeah, I don't think there'll be a reset. A reset would require some kind of decider and says, the U.S. dollar is worth 18% of what it should be, and blah, 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 blah. No. This is the big game, the end game. There'll be no other unbacked fiat global reserve currency ever again. This experiment was started in the 1960s, and it was run with computers and derivatives to rig the price of all commodities, as well as the dollar, to foster a, 50-year, 60-year con game. And when this is gone, no one's going to trust anybody monetarily for 1,000 years. So it's looking like the only trustless system is cryptocurrencies, the right ones. So hang on tight. It's going to get crazy. I do believe next week we're going to see the Fed announce a new QE. They won't call it QE, but it'll be intraday repos. You know, have overnight repos. You got your 14-day repos. They're going to do intraday repos where JP Morgan can borrow money for like 5 hours or 4 hours or 2 hours in the billions and billions of dollars. I'm going to add all that to the count of where we are and then post that. You know, they're not saying anything, but people aren't dumb. And at some point, they're going to have to say, probably when Elizabeth Warren gets her response to her letter from Mnuchin, they're going to say, hey, we're at $700 billion bailing out the banks. And oh, by the way, we didn't vote on it. We need to end the Fed. And him and Ha for another couple trillion, and then all of a sudden hit 20 trillion, and then the Fed goes to Congress. Just like the Democrats have to go get a vote now, and they're all upset about that. When it goes to Congress, they're going to say no. And then what happens? All debt goes away. Goodbye, debt. Goodbye, electronic assets, too, that are not crypto-based. So, yeah, it's crazy. Absolutely crazy. But we're living in it. All right, what else we got? What do I think of Chainlink? I don't know much about it. I hear people like it and it's good. So I'm not gonna promote it because I don't know enough about it. I've already got a nice handful of cryptos. Don't need to spread them all over the place. Let's see. So Seattle, anyone near Seattle, Sunday is supposed to be the day, which would be interesting because that would be a prime day to cause chaos for banking bailouts the next week. We'll see. Do I follow Max Kaiser? Absolutely. I love Max. He doesn't get always right, like all of us doesn't get everything right, but he's a smart guy. Absolutely. I love Stacy too. She gives out some balance. It's well balanced to Max's craziness. So let's see. They say the Seahawk game against Tampa. I don't know. Anything can happen. Usually, when you hear this kind of rumoring about false flags about to happen, they don't happen. So my take is nothing's going to happen. Let's see. Thoughts on Cliff's deadly winter 30-day growing season? Yeah, I think it's happening. I hear it's getting kind of cold in the Midwest right now. Yeah, very short growing season next year. It's been in his data quite a while. I just talked to Cliff actually about some other stuff, but yeah, he's doing well and he's preparing for all kinds of chaos. Listen to the Cliff High interview that I posted. If you're on the private road, go. I'm still giving away Very. Yes, I am still giving away Very. I think the next big jump in Very is when Reggie comes out, talks a little about what happened, and announces, oh, by the way, we have no more restrictions on working with the Jamaican Stock Exchange or all the deals that he was trying to do that the SEC was stopping him. I don't know what. I think the SEC should go away desperately, but I don't know. They aren't on the side of freedom, that's for sure. They're side of criminality. All right. Bix, have you ever been to Northern England, to God's country? As a matter of fact, I have been to Northern England. I spent quite a bit of time up there in the Lake District, hiking around. My ex-wife is from Preston, way up there in Northern England. So it is God's country. It's like, I like to call it a mini Yosemite. Beautiful, beautiful towns, and going up to Scotland too is amazing. But I spent a lot of time in the Lake District because my sister-in-law back then had a bed and breakfast, and that was awesome. It was really cool. All right. Albert asks, will we have an IRS in the future? If so, which crypto will they take for payment? I think the IRS will be disbanded and replaced with something else, probably some kind of VAT, small, tiny VAT, value added tax. And I think the payoffs that have gone to the banks and the Queen of England and all that conspiracy stuff that Dick Allgaier talks about, absolutely that's true. And all this money we're paying in taxes is basically getting funneled to our controllers, and that's not good. Actually, they can have all that fiat money. We'll keep the cryptos. If they stay out of the cryptos, they can keep the fiat. But yeah, that's not what happens. And they're trying to get into the cryptos as well, and they will. Just keep up the good fight, right? And make them make it visible what's going on. Let's see. Jonathan Dixon, U.S. bank runs when? I don't know. I think if J.P. Morgan is put up for RICO charges and all that, that might start it. But I don't think they want to start. I think they want the banks to fail, the bank runs start, and then all the lawsuits come out. That's my take. And yeah, I think in this year, 2019, we're going to see a lot of it. We've already seen it starting since September 11th. And that was planned. So keep an eye on November 11th. Could be a big day. Everybody said, wow, yeah, because it's 1-1. Well, that's not why I came to November 11th as another decision day. That's in my projections for the bailouts. That's when they hit 700 billion. And that's not far away. That's 10 days away. So keep an eye out for that date and everything else. It's just crazy. Anything can happen at any time. So yeah, that's where I am. All right, let's see. Viborn Greiten, play me a song on the guitar, please, and let's try to forget this serious stuff for a while. Dude, I'm so tired of I had like 3-4 days of singing and playing songs and talking about the serious stuff. So I'm gonna put the guitar down for a few days and let my fingers heal. They're all all you guitar players know your fingers get just thrashed after you play a lot and do a lot of shows and stuff like that. And all my gear smells like smoke because it was in Vegas. It reminds me of back when I was playing in bars in like the 90s and 80s. I go to when they had smoking in bars in California. I go to a gig, I come back and just reek of cigarette smoke. And all my guitar smells of it. And so right now all my gear smells. So I'm going to let it rest for a little while. Are the bank runs in China noteworthy? Yes, any bank runs are noteworthy, mainly because, especially if they're large banks, they all have similar customers. Like some of this, the bank run in China yesterday, some of those customers have payments to J.P. Morgan and Citibank and HSBC. So yes, banks are interconnected, and when you have a failure in one area, you have cascading failures, and if it's big enough, you have the too big to fail problem issue. And that too big to fail issue is the one that they know if they allow those banks to fail, that all the banks will fail and all the mutual funds will go away and everything crashes. Because it's fractional reserve, just like It's a Wonderful Life. You just got to keep watching that. It's going to be a big movie over this holiday season. I think keep an eye out for Wizard of Oz movies as well, because like in 2008, they were showing all the Wizard of Oz movies, that the remakes, and there's all kinds of secret meetings and that stuff. So keep an eye out if you start seeing the Wizard of Oz remakes and It's a Wonderful Life. Although It's a Wonderful Life's always on. They're planning another banking problem. So we will see. Cryptic Patriot, hello from Alaska. All right. I was up in Seattle. We didn't get to Alaska, but I haven't been to Alaska yet. You have to have a meetup up there in Alaska. Storms collapse soon. I think we are collapsing. I think since September 11th, the banks have needed billions, hundreds of billions of dollars now, 300 billion, probably by Monday. So that is the collapse. When will it be over? I don't know. I think when they go for the 20 trillion, which is coming. And notice that none of these banks are saying, "Oh, the problem's solved." It's exactly the opposite. The Fed says, "Oh, we still have a problem." So all the excuses they gave in the past were not. So what's up with Veritasium? I started, I think, with Veritasium. Yep, Reggie has settled. They beat him up, but the business is up and running, and hopefully they won't try to block his deals anymore, which was a big problem for Veritasium. And I think a settlement was a good idea. Even though Reggie was 100% right, going forward, we're going to look back and say, I'm glad you didn't fight that anymore. Those guys are ridiculous. They're criminal. And I think they knew also that they had to get something big or they would be called out for the fraud. And they got to save face. So moving on. All right, let's see. Everybody gangbangs Dorothy. Dude, that's the wrong Wizard of Oz. Not all the remakes are about monetary policy. Wesley Hummel, Grand Canyon Gold to bail out the banks. No, they already know about the Grand Canyon Gold. Nobody needs any gold anymore. It would heavily discount the price of gold. Instead of the 200,000 tons that Jeffrey Christian will tell you, that comes out with 2 million tons of gold. So the price of gold, theoretically, with supply and demand, should drop heavily. But they're not telling you it's all rigged, so who knows? Nobody knows. But yeah, there's no reason to invest in gold. If you're in it for the monetary side, invest in silver, night and day, because you also have the high tech future for silver and all that. So it's definitely silver. And if you're worried that you got too much to carry with you, well, at $2,000 an ounce silver, you can carry less and just leave some buried in the ground. Nick says J.P. Morgan backing crypto with silver. Yeah, good luck with that. Yeah, nobody's going to trust J.P. Morgan. They don't trust them now. That's why the repo market is freezing up. The banks don't trust each other. So if J.P. Morgan came out and said, we're inventing a cryptocurrency backed with silver, everybody would say, bullshit. First of all, with the RICO charges, they got to pay back 3 times what they stole. So of their 1 billion ounces of silver that they stole over the last 10 years, they're going to have to pay back 3 billion ounces, which is good. Which is really good. So, no, nobody's going to trust JP Morgan or Jamie Dimon anymore. Kelly, thank you for the $5. Awesome. Hey, Bix, how do the banks get to make record profits when at the same time receive bailout money? Should be illegal. Absolutely. I agree. And that's what we need to yell and scream at our potential candidates for president. Trump ain't going to do anything because he's trying to prolong this thing. I don't know. This is always my beef with Trump is he's allowing 100% manipulation. So they say the good guys need more time to arrest the criminals. It's like, no, you don't. It's like, give us more time to tell us about alien life and all that. It's like, who are you to decide what we can handle and what we can't handle? Right? So, yeah, I think, I don't know. I want truth and honesty. And politicians kind of devoid of that. So maybe we don't need politicians for a while. So I'm kind of hoping with this whole presidential election thing, we don't need a president. We didn't have a president when we first started. It was George Washington didn't go in for like 6 or 8 years later. Let's go without a president for a while. But Trump needs to finish his job, which was to drain the swamp and just take the gloves off, Trump. Just don't worry about next year's election. Just throw them all in jail and say, hey, here's the evidence, here's the proof. Voila. You got it. All right. SE says, Bix, what will happen to banks after this is all said and done? Branches, customers, etc. What brick and mortar places will be remaining or replaced? I don't think the banks will be taken over by the government or anybody. I think they'll all change into like video stores or something. What will be used, what was planned to be used, is post offices that already have the bulletproof glass and all that stuff. So I think that was the original plan. It was in Cliff's data as well, and I think the Alan Greenspan folk back there 10 years ago were planning that. Today, I don't know. It's hard to tell, and especially with cryptos, do you need branches and all that stuff? One thing I would advise against is depending on your house to maintain its value. Without any banks to lend, houses will drop 90% and be a depreciating asset like they are. Your house doesn't get better over time. The cheapness of money and the value of money is the thing that has changed. So keep an eye on the housing market. But the good thing is you won't have a mortgage if the banks collapse. So, all right, what else we got? Here's an alien question. If the aliens have us in some kind of snow globe, that's the flat earther stuff, then those who know relinquish a lot of power. Yeah, I'm not a proponent of the flat Earth theory. I haven't seen any good arguments for it. Oh, you look over the horizon. Well, how does your mind perceive a long distance, slow inclination? I don't know, but it just sounds completely ridiculous. The whole snow globe flat Earth thing. And the people actually that have been promoting it sound completely ridiculous as well. So I choose not to. I looked at it a little. I choose not to waste my time on that one. So that's me. But I do see aliens flying around in the sky. I have night vision goggles, and yes, they were puncturing right through that snow globe. All right, Litecoin updates. Litecoin is the right coin. We're gonna need Litecoin when the banks collapse. I don't see any crazy exciting things other than it'll follow Bitcoin and go 1 to 4. The moment we need it is when the use case comes out why Litecoin is so important. And the moment we need it is when the banks collapse, and the banks are collapsing right now. I don't know what the last day is, but I did call September 11th would be the beginning of it, and that's happening. I think a big shift into the next run of bailouts, meaning larger bailouts, will happen in November, and then by the end of the year, a $50 trillion or a $20 trillion bailout will be requested and denied. That's my take. Nobody knows for sure. Even the Fed doesn't know, and they're the one rigging this game. All right. How are cryptos going to work with an EMP? Nothing works. We're all dead with an EMP. Yeah, cryptos don't work with an EMP. The EMP would take out all electronics. So in that area, cryptos won't work. Every other area around the world, it's fine. But everybody would be dead anyway with an EMP. Sorry, nuclear power plants would implode, setting off nuclear winter, and there is no survival in that. If the internet goes down, even, and we still have electricity, if the internet goes down, I hear it's about a month that humanity has to live because it's connected to everything, including the nuclear power plants, food distribution, everything, payment systems, communications. Sorry, we're shit out of luck if we have an EMP. Gold and silver will be worth a zip, not a nothing. So yeah, that EMP is a bad deal. You can go off planet, I guess. Bix, what's the story with the UN? Did they go tits up? I hear that we're stopping the funding, and I don't know. I don't know a lot. All I know is a lot is going on behind the scenes for this transition out of the old system into the new system. Did I buy any XRP? No, XRP will go to zero when the banks crash. XRP is a solution for the banks. If you don't have any banks, you don't need no XRP. Sorry, XRP guys. And it's completely, totally 100% centralized, which is ridiculous. All right. Does crypto adoption have anything to do with cell phone data speeds needing to advance greatly? Cliff was talking about that, the 5G stuff. Yeah, it could be. I don't know. The future can change really fast, and you got to be dynamic, as Cliff says, to move with it. And yeah, with AI and all that, there will be AI resistant wallets for your cryptos. Don't worry. Don't let anybody fudge you out of your core belief that the cryptos are the future. They are, absolutely, and they seem to have done so long. So what do they call it? So far, so good. Last 10 years. Satoshi white paper was yesterday that it was posted. 11 years ago. 11 years ago? 2008, yeah. So, yeah, cryptos are doing great. Don't let anybody fudge you out of it. Lance, thank you for the $2. I'll raise you to step up. Thanks. Hey, Chef J. Reefs. What's a good night vision company? What to look for? I got mine from this guy in the woods who they were Russian made. And they are, what are they called? P3, the third edition or something. Yeah, they're expensive, crazy expensive, $3-4 grand. I've seen some as high as $5 grand. So do a lot of research and make sure you can return them if you don't get the kind of results that you are looking for. It's amazing though. They're so fun. I love that I bought them. I bought them used for a couple grand, I think. Long time ago. I was like, it's not like you could say, you can see an alien flying by. They're little dots. And if a dot's going like this and then shoots that way all of a sudden, it's intelligently steered. But I have seen the triangle craft, the cigar shaped craft, squadrons flying around. It's pretty cool. Okay, so Bix, you have forgiven Trump for manipulating Bitcoin. No, I don't forgive anybody. It was just proof that these decisions to rig markets are made by the government, and it's like, do I forgive Greenspan for inventing the computer programs to rig all markets? No, I think they're all making mistakes. Free markets have always had better outcomes than non-free markets, and just because we don't tell people that we don't have a free market doesn't mean that the consequences of rigging markets aren't going to come to roost one day. I think that's where we are. So yeah, coming to roost. Jean-Claude Biggs, what's your confirmation dream about the treasure? I hate to say it to tell Snippy, but it has come true in a different way. It might still be, and I'm still gonna go through the process. Those of you, I didn't even know what you call it, but I had a bet out with some of my guiding spirits that not a bet, a confirmation. I wanted to find something when I go on my treasure hunt. And if I did find it, I would say, okay, yeah, the treasure's here. This is all the real deal. And if I didn't, I'd say, well, I don't know. So, but then I found it. I don't know why. Um, we'll find out. JC, I'll talk to you when we get down there. How do I buy Litecoin? Go to like Coinbase or Gemini, set up an account, and you can buy as much as you want. Just don't buy it on a derivative exchange. The end game is so fantastic for the current system. Fatalistic. I was gonna say, yeah. The end game is obviously the end of fiat money, and it was always the end game. It's the only end game you could have had with a global unbacked fiat system. The only end game is the total destruction of all fiat. When the U.S. dollar goes, no, China's not going to want to be the world reserve currency controller. Nobody wants that. It's a horrible place to be, because you got to use your military to blow people up, and that's what we're going to end. So, all right. Thai City 87. Quantum computers and attacks on mining operations will bring them down fast, and there's no real development with either of them. I don't share what you're talking about. The quantum computer boogie boo thing. Yeah, quantum computers are coming. They're not going to be able to hack Bitcoin for 10 to 20 years, and we're going to have quantum resistant wallets. So I'm not worried about that at all. Assuming that no more innovation happens after quantum is announced is ridiculous. Of course, we're going to try to build quantum resistant wallets, and then probably a computer system faster than quantum. So yeah, no sense in worry about the boogeyman at this point. And it's gonna be cool. And we use AI and everything. I mean, AI is all over the place right now, and it's just gonna get bigger and bigger. Wait till we get replicators, where you can plug in, I want a turkey sandwich that takes it from the atoms and makes you a turkey sandwich. Then you don't need cryptos, right? There's no need for money in that scenario because all your basic needs are met. So how far out is replicators from the current state of 3D printing? I would say 50 to 100 years, maybe. So in the meantime, get your cryptos here. That's just my take, remember. Robert Carr, thanks for the £5. Ibex, always a place in London for you and Amy in London for a break. Cool, because my youngest son just said he's going to probably go to London to dance next year. And my oldest son's talking about going to Southern England to play soccer. So I heard it, Robert. I love him. I love London. I love England. And yeah, we'll hook up. We'll do a meetup over there. Ben had talked about that. There's more reason to go. Chris Card says, Bix, even with replicators, you still need money for services. I don't know. What service? Yeah, probably. Maybe money or social credits. Who knows? But I wouldn't say you need anything. If your basic needs are met, it would just be kind of, I'd love to hear a song sang, or I'd love to whatever. I mean, you could build a house with a replicator. So we'll see. We will see. Party, Vegas Hotel, Litecoin Summit. Yeah, maybe. Might need money, might need something else. Money just seems so, it's a representation. If there's an easier way to barter, that's direct barter, maybe. Who knows? I think we won't be alive at that point when we don't need money, but our kids might have to deal with that one. We can't fix everything for them, right? Hey, Bix, got scammed yesterday on YouTube channel called Litecoin Foundation for 5 Litecoin. There's so many scams out there. Don't fall for anything. And they're going to say, a lot of them say Road to Ruta. It's complete bullshit. It's complete bullshit. Don't send anybody your cryptos. Don't send anybody your login. Don't send anybody anything. It's all fraud out there, and it's going to stay that way, but it should be that way. Why? Because if you're not able to take care of your assets, you shouldn't expect the government to come in and take care of them for you. You have to be sovereignly independent, financially independent, meaning that you are in charge of your own coins at all times. Don't give anybody anything unless you're sure about what you're doing. I hope that makes sense. My banker's song rocks. Thank you. I did it faster at the summit. Oh, we're getting all the video and pictures and stuff together from the Litecoin summit. It was a blast. So much fun. We'll get those out over the next few weeks. Saw you playing in Acapulco. Awesome. I played one time in the hallway with Omar Bam, and that was hysterical. That was fun. And then I had a concert. I am going to be at an Acapulco, and I'm going to be playing again. So get on down there. I'm a YouTube celebrity. That's so scary. I've been on YouTube like 3 years, I think it is. I was a newsletter writer forever. But I would do interviews with other people like V, the Guerrilla Economist, and Dave at X22 Report, and Sean, SGT Report. So everybody thought I had my own channel. I didn't. Only 3 years ago, I think, started doing that. Right around the time I quit the banking world. That was 2016. So yeah, that's about 3 years ago. There you go. I had to get a real job. Leave the banking world, get a real job. All right, guys, we're coming up on an hour. I'll take a couple more questions here. Our Crone, thank you for the super chat. Hey, I'm your personal hat maker if you need anything. No charge. Met you in Acapulco 2 years ago. Hey, Felipe. Awesome. Thank you. I love all my hats. I got my Oakland hat on because I'm back in Oakland, and it's all good. Hey, Bix, when will silver run? I think by the end of the year, they're sentencing the JP Morgan traders, or the two whistleblowers, I think in December. So, but when silver runs, everything goes. It's one of those things. It's when the floodgates open, we have banks crashing, silver running crazy, and it could go to zero if the exchange shuts down, and a lot of criminality happens and crashes. So, hang on to your hat. Just hodl through it. All right. Let's see where we are. Lance, thank you again. $2. Look at that. Inching my way up there for retirement. All right. Let's see. There's a guy talking about the Seattle. So a lot of talk about Seattle. Usually when there's a lot of talk about a false flag, it doesn't happen. So just keep that in mind when you're hunkering down in your bunker if you live in Seattle. Anyway, thank you guys. Hey, give me a like and a thumbs up. And for the private road people, I'll be giving an update on the timeline this weekend. I don't know what time I can get it up, but I'm working on it. All right. You guys take it easy and have a good one.